Good afternoon, everybody. This is Doug Marola, the freelance teacher, and just talking to you a little bit about what's been going on probably since the election. And I talk to students about this kind of thing all the time. They're intensely curious about the election and what's gone on and what people believe and why they believe it and things like that. And so what you've got is some very interesting, I think, interesting phenomena about how people's minds work, to be honest. So I'm looking at this from a psychological perspective and also to some degree a logical and reasoned perspective about what's gone on since the Trump election late well, geez, what is it now? Only a week plus. Seems like 100 years ago that you had the inauguration, but it's only been a little while. And so what I see has a lot to do with what I see on social media and people's reactions. So because I'm a public school teacher, I have a pretty standard set of responses and a standard set of posts that I see people putting up there on mainly Facebook, although I have a Twitter account as well. And because I'm a public school teacher, the reactions to Donald Trump and his election are anxious, and people are wringing their hands and screaming from the mountaintops about how terrible things are. And they really dislike the guy. They really dislike what he's doing. And they're miserable and horrified and angry about what the Donald Trump presidency has done so far in, today's the 27th, in the past week. And I find that fascinating. And here's why. The things that went on over the past 8 years were, I don't know how different they were. I guess around the edges there were some differences, but let me give you an example. About 5 or so years ago, the National Defense Authorization Act was passed, the NDAA. That was, in my opinion, a terrible piece of legislation. It enables the feds to basically whisk someone away. No trial, no evidence, no judge, no lawyers. Whisk them away for questioning and or prison, in effect forever. Just gone. No trial, no discovery, depositions, nothing. That is horrible. That's not the United States. I don't know what country that is. That's not even humane in any way, shape, or form. The reaction to that on my social media account anyway was practically silence. I don't think anyone, except me, I'm very libertarian. I pay attention to what the government does. I don't like organized authority. Their monopoly on violence is repellent. I don't believe in those things. So I was mystified and shocked that something like this would come down at all, forget about during the Nobel Peace Prize winning Obama administration. So, and to add to that, the Patriot Act was rightfully vilified by my friends and I as another terrible piece of government overreach, horrible bit of violent legislation that you declare, all you got to do, declare someone a terrorist or an enemy combatant, and then they go to a tribunal and they can get taken away if the judge declares them that. All of those safeguards, as constitution shredding as they were bad. The NDAA comes through, and I sent the link to the article on it and the actual act itself. You could read the PDF to various people through Facebook. One person responded and said, I've never heard of it. Because my message was, have you seen this? Can you believe this is terrible? One person came back with, never heard of it. That was the entire response. So now you have Trump doing his executive orders and all of his things, and the reaction is, it's a horror show. People are screaming and howling and yelling. And my point is, I'll wrap up with this. My point is, it shows you how easy it is to control somebody's mind. How easy it is for the top of the pyramid, big media, big government, big control, to get people angry and frothing at the mouth and galvanized simply because it's a change in administration. Nothing that has come through thus far even pales in comparison. Nothing relates to the level of the NDAA. Nothing, not even close. Yet people are furious. So I just psychologically analyze this as what people are like and how they're able to be manipulated and herded. And I talk a lot about the herd. And now you see how it's done. Change the name after somebody, the R or the D. Change that. Get the media to keep repeating the same thing. And mission accomplished. That's it. That's all it takes. So if you want to pick a fight on social media, ask someone who's a liberal, I guess, or calls themselves one, where were you with the NDAA? And see what they say. I don't know what you'll get. I'm an older person. You guys are in high school or college. You know, you may not want to pick that fight. I can handle it, and I do it sometimes if I have nothing better to do. But think about these kinds of things, right? You're allowed to prioritize, and the relationship, the moral relativism that the left always uses, all of a sudden is not an issue. All of a sudden, no, we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about now. Why? Why is that a case that you could do and pick your spots? So just looking at that kind of analysis, I think, is worth it. It's just another thought experiment by your host, the freelance teacher. And so continue to like and support and spread the news and keep thinking clearly. And remember, as a teacher, I'm always telling you, I want you to think for yourself, take risks, and you should be questioning authority. Take care. Have a great afternoon. This is the Freelance Teacher. Talk to you next time.